Hello students, I welcome you all in a second lecture of topic of simple substance from Dr. Kant's lectures on homeopathic philosophy. I hope you all had understood thoroughly the first part, and now we are going to conclude this topic and we are going to discuss the remaining portion of the chapter. If you had still not referred to part 1, the link is given in description. Please refer the part 1 first and then start watching this video. So before we start, let us just revise what we discussed in an initial lecture. That simple substance, the name or the terminology suggested by Dr. Kant on his views and different explanations. He felt that the vital force is generated from the substance. It is a substantial energy, and the simple substance liberates or generates the vital force or vital energy or vital principle, which regenerates and which keeps the material body into the action. The work of simple substance is to maintain the harmony between the connection between material world and immaterial world. The work of simple substance is to coordinate different components of material world. It coordinates between the components and maintains the normal function of any substance or any organism. Then we had discussed the qualities of simple substance. The first quality is it is having its own intelligence. So it is an intelligent matter, and that performs its duty and its task on its own. Because of intelligence, it preserves the basic quality of any organism, and that basic quality differentiates one organism from another. Then this simple substance is subject to change, means you can modify the simple substance positively or negatively, in good form or in a bad form. Okay. Next is, when simple substance pervades or enters into any organism, it is not going to disturb the different small components of an organism. It performs its function without disturbing the different component of a particular organism. Then simple substance dominates and controls the body, and it controls each and every system, the organ, the parts, the tissues, and coordinates their functions and keep them in action. Okay, so this much we had discussed in the first part, and now we are going to proceed with the remaining portion of the chapter. So we are going to start from page number 71, the second paragraph. Matter is subject to reduction. So this simple substance is subject to reduction, and it can be continuously reduced until it is in the form of simple substance. But it is not subject to restitution. So the matter which holds the simple substance can degenerate from its simple form, but you cannot regenerate this matter from which it had begun. No substance can be returned to its ultimate form after it has been reduced to its primitive form. Once the simple substance has achieved its primitive form, you cannot regenerate and you cannot remake a particular matter. It is not in the power of man to change from first to last. That is, it is not in his power to ultimate the simple substance. This is retained for the Supreme Power himself, from whom power continually flows through all the primitive substance to the end, to ultimates. Now do you begin to see that the thing that does not start from its beginning with a purpose is not a thing, or to put it another way, what makes anything a thing is because of its purpose or ultimate, which is use, and there is never created a thing without a purpose. The Supreme Power creates a particular thing and it has the power to destroy. Nothing or no matter in this world build up without the cause or without the purpose. If anything is without the purpose, this thing is going to become a degenerate. If it does not exist in continuous series from first to last, it cannot be used or of purpose. Hence, the end is in the first and the end is in every succeeding link to its ultimate. So when you start a particular thing, you have started its end also. And when you complete a particular link, you are creating a next link and you are creating the end of the next link also. When you establish the first link in the chain, you have the end of the next link in view. The simple substance may exist as simple, compound or complex, and as such never disturb harmony, but always continue from first to end. So simple substance can modify itself to simple, compound and complex form without disturbing or modifying a basic organism. Throughout chemistry, we can observe this compounding. We find iodine uniting with its base, two simple substances compounding in keeping with their own individual plan, reliably and intelligently in accordance with the affinities for each other. So you know the basic combinations of chemistry. Different chemicals, metals, ions reunites with one another, but they are not going to disturb their basic nature. When substances come together in that way, then they do not disturb the simple substance of each other. There is nothing destroyed, each one retained its own identity and they can be reduced again to their own identity. And they can be reduced again to their simple by reaction and regards. Now all of this entered into the human body and every element in the human body preserves its identity throughout, and whatever found can be identified. So when substances meet one another, they are going to retain their basic identity. Such combination, however, merely represents a composite state. But when these composite substance and simple substances are brought into an additional condition, when they are presided over and dominated by something, they may be said to enter into a very complex form. And in the body, a life force keeps every other force in order. Dynamic simple substances often dominate each other in proportion to their purpose, one having a higher purpose than another. This vital force, which is a simple substance, is again dominated by another simple substance still higher, which is the soul. It has been the aim of a great many philosophers by study to arrive at some conclusion concerning the soul. They have attempted to locate it at some particular point, but we can see from the above that it is not in circumscribed location. So when one simple substance comes into contact with another one, they are going to recombine with each other, but they retains their basic property. The highest authority of this simple substance is soul, and soul is a supreme power which reunites or which generates a particular living organism. In considering simple substance, we cannot think of time, place or space because we are not in the realm of mathematics nor the restricted measurements of the world or space and time. So we cannot measure, we cannot see, we cannot judge the simple substance with this particular realm of space, time, gravity, etc. It is only finite to think of place and time. Quantity cannot be predicated of simple substance, only quality and degree of fineness. You cannot judge the quantity, only you can judge the quality of a simple substance. We will see the importance of this in its special relation to homeopathy. By using an illustration, when you have administered sulfur 55 m in infrequent doses and find it will not work any longer, you give the Cwm potency and see the curative action taken up at once. Do we not see by this that we have entered a new series of degrees and are dealing entirely with quality? Okay, so here he illustrated the example of sulfur 55 m, and when you see it is not working, you are going to shift to another level of energy and you are going to prescribe a medicine in a Cm. Okay, the simple substance also has adaptation. At this point, man's reasoning comes up, leading to false conclusion from appearances, so that he has accepted what is called the environment theory. That the individual has an adaptation to his environment is not questioned, but what is it that adapts itself to environment? The dead body cannot. So simple substance also helps to adapt with the environment, and it also balances the human body with its surrounding environment. When we reason from within out, we see that the simple substance adapts itself to its surroundings and tends to adapt its house to the surroundings, and thus the human body is kept in a state of order in the cold or in the heat, in the wet and damp, and under all circumstances. The surroundings themselves produce nothing, are not cause, they are only circumstances. Okay, so your body behaves different way in different seasons, in different weathers and different conditions. Okay, so this is adaptation which is assisted by a simple substance. The life substance within the body is the vice regent of the soul. Vice regent means it is a vice president or a particular kind of assistant to a soul, and the soul in turn is also a simple substance. All that is of the soul operates and exists within every part of the human body, and thus it is that simple substance acts as a vital force. The soul adapts the human body to all its purposes, the higher purposes of its being. The simple substance, when it exists in the living human body, keeps that body animated. So this is the work of soul or simple substances. It keeps the body animated in working condition. The simple substance, when it exists in the living human body, keeps the body animated, keeps it moving, perfects its uses, superintends all parts, and at the same time keeps the operation of mind and will in order. So every operation is going to be remain in particular order by simple substance. Let any disturbance occur in the vital substance and we see how suddenly incoordination will come. If there is any disturbance in simple substance, you will see the incoordination of human organisms, and then the disease is going to emerge. There is harmonious cooperation when the vital substance is continued in its normal quality. That is, in health, what is more perfect than the human body in health? And what evidence have we of any greater wreck than the human body when it is not in health? So this is the work of simple substance or vital force. It keeps the body healthy by coordinating its different functions. If there is any disturbance in simple substance, the organism is going to suffer with a disease. So this is the health and the sick situation. We see also that this vital substance, when in natural state, when in contact with the human body, is constructive. It keeps the body continuously constructed and reconstructed. So in natural state, vital force working as a constructive manner and reconstructs the different tissues or cells. But when the opposite is true, when the vital force from any cause withdraws from the body, we see that the forces that are in the body being turned loose are destructive. So when the vital force is kept aside from its work, then body becomes degenerative and it becomes to decay. When these forces are not dominated and not controlled by the vital force, the body tends to decay at once. So we see that the vital force is constructive or formative, and in its absence there is death and destruction. If we examine the very simplest form of living organism, the plasma body. The plasma body is a non-nucleated protoplasms, which are the minute structure or very minute structure of an organism. We will observe that it has the essential of life, has everything in it that the very highest order of life has. It has the properties and qualities of the life substance of man and animals. It reproduces itself, it moves, it feeds, it is endowed with influx, and lastly it can be killed. Now when you have said these things, you have predicated much of the vital substance, or the highest and of the lowest. It asserts its identity, it moves and feeds, it propagates and can be killed. It does not sustain its identity by chemical analysis, because when it is chemically analyzed, it is no longer protoplasm. Protoplasm is only protoplasm when it is living. So if you want to see chemically the simple substance, you cannot see, because in chemically you are just going to find the normal basic elements of the body. Chemically, all there is to be found of protoplasm is carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen and sulfur. But the life substance cannot be found. You put together 54 parts of C, 21 of O, 16 of N, 7 of H and 2 of S, and what do you suppose you will have? Simply a composite something, but not that complexity which we identify as protoplasm. In analyzing the protoplasm, what has become of the life force? There is no difference in weight after that. The simple substance cannot be weighed, neither weight, time nor place can be predicated of the simple substance, and it is not subjected to the physical laws such as gravity. So you cannot measure the vital force, you cannot measure it chemically, you cannot measure it physically. Any laws of science is not going to give you the evidence of vital force or simple substance. You will just see a simple minutest atoms, but there is no vital force you can observe in scientific way. Now when we consider this substance as an energy, a force or dynamism, that is something possessing power, the subject is intelligible. Inert elements have in their nature not only their own identifying simple substance, but they have degrees of its identifying simple substance. The human body also have its degrees of life substance, existing in degree suitable for all its uses. The enormous degree of life substance are suitable to the will and understanding. So we are going to divide the vital force into different degrees, from higher to lower. The highest degree of human being is mind or understanding, or his will. The innermost degree life substance are suitable to the will and understanding, the outermost degree to the very coarsest tissue, and there is one continuous series of quality in degrees from the innermost to the outermost. Every cell has within it the innermost and the outermost, because there is nothing in that which is coarsest but has that which is finest too. The outermost envelopes are dominated by the coarser degrees of simple substance, and the innermost qualities are dominated by the innermost degrees. Each portion has an appropriate form, and from the outermost to the innermost it has all. Otherwise, the human body could not be dominated or ruled by the soul. So when you take a different level from inner to outer, let me make a simple portions of this particular thing, that we are going to start with a mind, we are going to start with some physical, and then some particular very complex or very basic structure. So this all thing is going to be ruled by one level above. So innermost part, the mind, will, understanding, rules the outer part, and outer part is going to rule the coarsest material. Each tissue has within it its portion of the vital substance, each having its own peculiar kind of function. Inert substances have their own degrees. Silica has its degree of simple substance within it, which can be brought out by the process of potentization, whereby it may be continuously simplified, rendered finer and finer, so that each portion of which remains may be continued potentization, be adapted to the higher degrees of the simple substance of man. Okay, so when you prepare a medicine, it is again you are going one level inner to its particular quality. Coarse silica is not going to have a much finer simple substance, but when you potentize level by level, you are going to go deep to its simple substances. The 38 potency of silica will be sufficiently similar to form to reach in a curative way some of the disease of man, such as are dominating his economy in a correspondingly superficial and coarse series of the body. But it is true that silica ceases after a time to act in the 38 potency, and it has to be further potentized in order that it may be similar in quality to the inner degrees, even until it reaches the very innermost or finest degree of a simple substance. Everything in the universe has its aura and atmosphere. Now, this explanation is related with the selection of a medicine and how we are going to match a simple substance of person and simple substance of medicine. So the illustration is little bit difficult, but still we have to make it simple, and we have to believe this particular thing on the basis of Dr. Kant's view. Every matter, every material is having simple substance, and every material is going to have every simple substance is going to have some effects of another simple substance. So when you bring together two different simple substances, one has to be become stronger to create a certain effect on a weaker one. So let us take an example of a deceased person and a medicine. So when you apply a medicine in a deceased person, your medicine has to have a simple substance to treat the deceased person's simple substance, the first thing. Next is, the medicine's simple substance has to have stronger effect than the deceased person's simple substance. Then and then they are going to combine with each other, and the medicine is capable to cure a particular diseased state. Now, as he already stated earlier, that when two simple substances unite together, they are never going to change their basic property. So first thing, when you prescribe a silica or any medicine, it is not going to change the person's basic criteria or basic qualities. It is just going to set the incoordination into a proper coordination. Okay. So how it happens? Now every universe or everything in universe has an aura or a particular energy field. Every star and planet has an atmosphere. The sun's atmosphere is its light and heat. Every human being has his atmosphere or aura. Every animal has its atmosphere. This aura is present in all entities. What may be said to be the aura or musk? Okay, so this is regarding every material is having aura. Or what is aura? What is energy? If you take an example of a perfume, the perfume's smell or odor is its aura. Let us take an example of moss. The smell of moss is in aura. Okay, if you don't having any material contact with a moss, but you are still going to observe or feel its energy through its smell. Okay, it is not needed that you have to come into the physically contact to just feel the energy of a musk. This is the same thing. The consciousness between two simple substances is really that atmosphere by which one knows the other, and by which all affinities and repulsion between simple substances are known. They are in harmony or in antagonism. The simple substance can have a harmony or antagonism to each other. Human beings are thus classified by positives and negatives. Minerals and the world generally are classified by positives and negatives. This has an underlying cause. Substances are extremely powerful when meeting other substances that are antagonistic in any way, and also when meeting substances in a destructive way. The formative processes are often brought about by destruction. Forms are destroyed in order that new forms may exist, and new forms therefore are often created from simple substance. So if you come contact with an antagonistic simple substance, it is going to create some destruction, it is going to create some new entity. Either it is a beneficial or not, it depends on some newer growth. But if you come into contact with a harmonious simple substance, it always going to rejuvenate your energy. There are two realms of worlds, the realm or world of cause and the realm or world of ultimates. In this outermost or physical world, we can see only with the eyes, touch with the fingers, smell with the nose, hear with the ear. Such in the realm of results. The world of cause is invisible, is not discoverable by the five senses. It is the world of thought and discoverable only by the understanding, that which we see about us in only the world of ends. But the world of cause is invisible. It is possible that we may perceive the innermost, and it is important also that men may know and look from within upon all things in physical world, instead of stating in the physical world and attempting to look upon things in the immaterial world. So if you want to look into immaterial world, you have to become, or you have to see from the eyes of a dynamic world. Otherwise you are not going to understand the properties of an immaterial world. He will then account for law and perceive the operation of law. Homeopathy exists as law. Its causes are in the realm of causes. If it did not exist in the world of causes, it could not exist in the world of ultimates. It is in the realm of cause that we must look for primaries in the study of homeopathy. So realm of causes are not visible by your naked eyes. You have to go beyond that, and you are going to find out which particular things makes a particular person diseased, and that's only going to give you a particular cure. Of course, it will be seen that the whole of this subject looks towards the establishment of a new system of pathology, which will be a groundwork of homeopathy. All disease causes are in simple substance. So every disease caused by the disturbance of the simple substance. There is no disease caused in concrete substance. considered apart from simple substance. We therefore study simple substance in order that we may arrive at the nature of sick-making substances. Okay, so you have to learn for simple substance to find out which kind of energy makes the simple substance disordinate. We also potentize our medicines in order to arrive at that simple substance, that is, at the nature and quality of the remedy itself. We have to potentize the medicine to match the energy of the simple substances. The remedy to be homeopathic must be similar in quantity and similar in action to the disease cause. So disease cause is a simple substance derangement, and your medicine must work up to the level of simple substance to treat a particular disease. Okay, so that's all for the topic of simple substance. If you are having any queries, you can write in comment or you can ask me, and you are going to read this topic thoroughly and make your notes, and we are going to meet in the next video with a new topic. Thank you very much.